Good morning. Happy Sabbath. Feliz Sabado. And for our Hebrew brothers and sisters, Shabbat Shalom.
There you go.
My mind slipped me there for a second. Good to see you again. It's been about a month since we hung out.
It has been. You're my favorite co-host.
And you were mine.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's good to be back together in these two chairs again, doing it all over again.
That's right.
And we have your favorite person in the whole wide world running sound with Cliff and your husband, Pastor Tom, in the background.
Pastor Tom, PT.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, so there's so much to talk about.
So much.
Because we always have a lot to talk about. It's fall, which we always love. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like fall right now. We'll get into that later.
In the mornings sometimes. We've had some cool evenings, right. Your weather segment will fill us in on that, right?
Because we're going to actually talk about winter.
Okay.
We're going to get into that,
Okay.
so we'll start talking about that. But overall, how was your week? You had a good week?
Yeah, good week. Kind of crazy, but we were talking about work earlier, and work is just crazy for everybody anymore.
It is.
So,
it is.
yeah.
And I think we're ready for the holidays.
Yes.
Get that going. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I know we got a lot to talk about. So I think I'm up first, right?
I think you are.
I think I am up first.
With the legacy sermon debrief.
The debrief on listening heart.
Okay.
Till the end.
That's right.
Now we have communion this week, which a new twist for everybody. I need to look at the camera. New twist for everybody is you will not be getting the articles of communion.
The emblems.
Emblems, not the articles.
That's
Thank
okay.
you.
Articles, emblems,
That's what. See, I appreciate
potato,
it.
potato.
I know,
I appreciate
exactly.
you. Oh,
see, this is why we work so well
See,
together.
I
Yeah.
know.
Okay. So the emblems will be handed out in a paper bag that you will take in your own personal bag that you get to take in and be a part of the service there inside the church. A little bit different. Obviously, it's kind of, I can't say post-COVID yet, but it's a new mix on how we're doing it. So please be sure after you do the foot washing, which, by the way, it's come as you, basically when you want.
When you want.
When you want, there in the foyer. So you
things,
pick it up after your foot washing there in the foyer, take it into the sanctuary, the auditorium. And and then we'll do it from there. So just be sure if you are able to watch this and you haven't participated yet, obviously with Mosaic coming up, be aware of that. The new twist that we're doing. Yeah. A little bit different. So I think that'll be good. And obviously a great sermon once again in the sermon series that we have.
Yes.
So with that, I'll toss it back over to you and you can hit on the next item.
Next item. Okay. Glow Golf, October 30th here in the church commons. So like right around the front side of the church. If you're looking at the church on the right side, we'll have some Glow Golf and we'll have Vespers, games. We'll have a fire pit out there. So if you want to bring some hot dogs to roast, feel free to do that.
Now we have the option of either heavy protein or light protein.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
So veggie
Very
or real.
nice.
Yeah.
Whatever you prefer to eat, you bring, you roast, you eat.
Do you think we'll do s'mores?
If anybody, did you just say s'mores?
I did say s'mores.
Like S-C-H. Oh.
Yeah, how did I do that?
S-M.
S'mores.
That's okay.
Let's go with s'mores.
Okay, that's okay.
Sorry.
Is that like a thing? Do you call it s'mores?
No, it was just a slip of the tongue.
I'm sorry, and I pointed it out.
It's okay. I'm not turning very red, so we'll
You're
keep
good.
going. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
I slip my tongue so many times. So yes, s'mores if you want to.
Yes.
S'mores are like, see, for me, I just like I love fires and fire pits, and sometimes it scares the children how much I love fires.
It's a nice fall activity to hang out by the fire.
It is. So
it is.
I personally, if you're gonna have a fire pit, you need to have s'mores. So,
Yes,
yes,
that's why I bring it up. So maybe we'll still have that along with the hot dogs. We can hope. Yes,
you can. Feel free. Go crazy.
And now, have you ever played Glow Golf?
I have never played Glow Golf, but I've also, there was my slip.
Yeah.
So now we're
even.
We're
even. Okay.
All right. And you were too nice to point it out. But okay. But I've never played like Top Golf or.
Oh, you have to. You
don't
have to be good to play Top Golf.
I don't get out much. I don't have to be good to play Top Golf. Now, why would you think I wasn't good at golf? But anyway. No, it's okay.
I'm sorry. I made an assumption. And you know what they say about making assumptions?
I think you made a good assumption.
I just assumed because you don't like to play Top Golf, then you probably don't like golf.
I never have played Top Golf. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe we should have a church outing to Top Golf.
We could do that. And we could just kill this part right now so we both don't, slip up anymore. And since Reggie is the good memorizer, he's going to talk about Our Lady's Night.
Oh, yes. Well, and, with it being Sabbath, I cannot break out into the song of It's Ladies' Night. Maybe one of these times when we can do a karaoke session.
Really? Could I do it in the background, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, that'd be good.
What a night. Oh,
you know the song.
Oh, I know the song.
Deborah's so talented. Deborah's so talented. So let's talk about Ladies' Night. November the 6th.
Okay.
At 6:30. And so we're obviously inviting all the ladies out. So men, you're going to have to be watching the kids more than likely. Well, the men that are not going to Joshua Men Retreat.
Very nice.
The men will be watching the kids that night. So game, food, and fun. Be sure to put that on your calendar. And I believe, do they need to contact Heidi or? Or do we have that in our notes?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. That was one little bit of information
It's
that's probably
actually,
important.
they're going to meet upstairs in the UG room.
Yes.
So top level of a children's annex. It says nothing about.
Okay, well then don't.
Yeah.
I think you just come
And
as you are.
sign
Show up. Yeah.
Just come on up.
November
You know,
6th.
Yeah, Heidi might have a sign up sheet as it gets closer because I know it is kind of nice to plan with food and that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right, so
it is almost Thanksgiving time.
It is.
So what is Thanksgiving at Arlington? We think Thanksgiving what?
I think instant mashed potatoes.
Instant mashed potatoes, because you prefer those over real mashed potatoes. I think we had this conversation too.
We did. But it's
Okay.
on the revived list.
It is.
It is for
Okay.
Thanksgivings, which is what you're
Okay.
touching on, correct?
Which is actually, well, not quite yet, but that's
The
okay.
church lunch
The church
of
lunch.
November the 20th.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So November 20. So registration is open for that now. So you can pick up a form at the Welcome Center or click to register online. So that in our newsletter, you have a registration page you can access through the newsletter. So that's the Thanksgiving dinner that we have here in our fellowship hall.
Mm-hmm.
So get to decorate a table how you like. Pick to sit with who you want to sit with, family, non-family,
Yeah.
mix, you know.
And it's usually a pretty big event. I mean, I think it's been a
Yeah.
couple years since we've done it, but very big turnout. I've known in the past a lot of people would look forward to it. A lot of
Yes.
people get into it, decorating their table, bringing the food.
Yeah.
So a lot of good food and fellowship for sure on November the 20th.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, please register for that, right?
Plan on coming out
Yeah.
for that, yes. Okay, and then now we have our construction update.
Oh, well, let's pull up some videos, or not videos,
Still
but
going
pictures.
on. Pictures,
I think
okay.
the first picture is of the sanctuary, and we're going to be looking at, because what they said,
There
two
we
equipment.
go.
We got two large pieces of equipment there.
Yes.
That they're using to put in electric conduit, I think, on top of the ceiling. If we went then to the next picture, it shows that beam that goes through the center of the ceiling. Oh, no, we're looking at the console.
Okay.
That would be the lighting console and also the sound console that's being constructed, but will not be operational until all the equipment is in. So you notice that we have lost some seating up there. Some of the pews have been removed. That's also why technically you were not supposed to go up into the balcony, but, you know, that was just a mere suggestion
we're
from last week.
flexible,
We're very
right.
flexible. But we do ask if you go up there to be very mindful of the cords. As we were talking, you don't want to trip over a cord because you could impact the service and could impact the lighting. So be very
Yes.
careful when you're up in the balcony over the
And that
next
being
couple weeks.
said, all our little mischievous members out there.
Yeah, should we
don't
say
go
ages
pulling on
between 10 and 20?
cords.
Yes. Stay away from
I don't
the cords.
know. I know some senior citizens that might enjoy, messing with some lighting too. But yeah, just be aware. Our main concern is your safety, that you don't trip over the cords, because they do attach to the lights in the front of the sanctuary. So we want to be aware of that. So yeah,
yes.
it's coming along.
Exactly.
So,
Now, did we have any other pictures? I thought we had maybe one or two. No, that's it. I'm getting
no,
we're
that's
getting the
it.
head shake that we do not have any more pictures. So
That's
that was
okay.
the treat for this morning.
That's it.
Was the looking at the two large pieces of equipment that are sitting there in the auditorium.
okay, you're so funny with that. Okay.
In the
So-
auditorium, and we've actually lost some pews already because of
We have. Mm-hmm.
where those have to be stationed. So be mindful of the construction that's going on, but hopefully things are continuing to progress, and I'm very excited to see what the final product's ultimately going to look like at some point.
Yeah, it's hard. Just like anything in the middle, you're kind of like in between.
Yeah,
but
let's
at
get it
the
over
end
with.
of the day,
Yeah, but
it'll
it's all going to
good.
be worth it.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
I actually stole your segment. Or no, I was
No, you
supposed
didn't.
I was supposed to do construction.
It's so funny. We're just all mixed up today.
We just
Reggie.
wanna talk.
We just do.
We do.
We just need to hang out and just
We need to schedule some
But
time.
we have this
don't lose your
little
notes.
venue.
All right, what's next
All
on
right,
the
so we're
segment?
going to talk about the speaker series. So
Okay.
last week, oh my gosh, was it just last week?
It was.
Wow, it seems like, yeah. Okay, so we had Dr. John Pauline come speak to us from California, Loma Linda. So now that is on Vimeo. So if you missed any of his segment or presentations, you can find them on vimeo.com/Arlington Adventist. So we can also find our past worship services there at the same location. So arlington.com. Yes.
.com. And then is the next
Arlington
segment talking
Life.
about Arlington Life, the YouTube channel, correct?
Arlington Life Online,
Yes.
yes. And you can get resources.
You can get resources, look at all the past episodes of Arlington Life. You can also look at previous sermons. Like I've said before, you can go all the way back to 2015 and see our dear friend Pastor Tom's sermons.
Yes.
I know you probably watch those quite often, right?
Oh
You
my
go all
gosh,
the way back
no,
and watch.
never, no. I'm not lying. You know what I do? I will confess, I do go back and see how awful and silly I look on camera sometimes when we have our segments. So that'll be a thing, because I can only get so many texts saying like, OMG, Deborah, I need to look and see what they're referring to. So.
Well, good. All right.
I
So
go,
then later
look
this
at
week,
myself.
I think Tuesday it'll be up, so you can go back and look at it on Tuesday. So there you go. So
free entertainment for anyone
there
who
you go.
needs
Free
it.
entertainment, but a lot of resources there that you can go back and look at. A lot of sermons I think that people would like to go back and look at. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah, all kinds of good stuff.
That's
so
right.
You can never say you missed something. 'Cause
That's
it's
right.
always there. Right. Okay. So Revive. Here's where we're bringing in the Revive Thanksgiving baskets.
There we go.
Okay. So we're still continuing to get ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas. For the month of October, we're collecting items for our Thanksgiving baskets. So you can pick up a shopping list from the foyer, or you can drop off items here at the church or in the foyer. We had a contest over at Burton for the kids to bring in certain items every week to help with the food pantry. And so grades 3, 7, and 11 were the winners this week.
And we had over 1,000.
1,000 items.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes. So yeah, that's a great help for everyone.
Yes.
I think it's good to, have the kids bring things in, never too early to train kids how to give back. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, and now...
Well, wait, should we also say, I think this week is donation week. So October the 26th.
Yes,
donations.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, for
Donations.
No. You're doing great.
Okay, no. Not half as good as you.
No. See, now I lost my train of thought here. I had a stream of consciousness going.
I'm sorry.
All right, so October
The
26th,
items.
donate. I'm going to even say this for Heidi. So
You're
they are
so
in need
good.
of feminine
Yeah.
hygiene products. We are in need of diapers.
Man, ladies, he is taken, by the way. I mean, oh my gosh, yes, he did it. Because Heidi said he wouldn't, but he did.
I said I would do
Reggie's
it. That's
just
right.
that
We have to
amazing.
tell the public of what's in need, right?
do.
So
We do.
we have to put everything aside so we can help people out.
There you go.
So make sure you do that. Diapers, size 4 to 6.
Diapers.
Also food, always rice and beans are always a must-have for Revive. So be aware of that. And I think also they've been asking for our clothing that we bring in children clothing as well over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, so that's always a help. Kids get to the age where they kind of go through things faster, and we don't have as many things available. So it's always nice if you have an item that's been outgrown quicker than you think, to bring that in. And yes.
Yeah, and I think even linens, but they ask, please don't bring linens in that have been stained or have holes. So let's
I
be
think
aware
that
of
would go maybe for clothes as well. So
Yeah.
kind of like, use your good judgment.
Yeah.
And if you
Lightly
don't want to
used.
use it,
Yeah.
probably no one else will.
Right,
either,
yeah, that's
so.
a good rule of
Yeah.
thumb. All right, well, with
Okay.
that,
Weather.
are you saying it's time for the weather?
I am. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm excited. Now, Cliff, are
Okay.
you ready for 6 maps? All right, here we go.
Okay,
This is a record.
6 maps. Reggie.
All right, so let's pull up the first map. It's going to be the sea surface temperature for the I can't even talk, CFS V2. So this is the map for sea surface temperatures here for the winter. You're going to notice the Northern Pacific has a large red blob. That's heat. That's actually saying above normal temperatures.
Blob.
You have, yes, as
It's
a
a very
weather
technical term.
Weather term. Then in the middle of the map is the equator, and you notice the blue, which indicates the cold. That's what we've been talking about when we talk about La Nina. So the upwelling of the cold water there in the Pacific. That's how La Nina is depicted on the map.
Okay.
That is what it's indicating right now that we are potentially going to be looking at for this winter in the sea surface temperatures. The reason I bring that up, big driver on what happens in the winter. We've talked about what happens with La Nina. Now, here's the other thing before we go to the next map. That large area of red, if it were to migrate further into the Gulf of Alaska, the forecast completely changes, meaning we will have a cold winter. But at this point, I'm going to be disappointed. I don't think that's going to happen. So let's go to the next map, and you're going to see the analog years of 2009 and 1999. Those are the sea surface temperatures that occurred from December to February. You'll notice it's very similar to what it looks like right now. So because of that, they're looking for, now we'll go to the next map, and this is actually going to show you the average temperatures from November to March. You'll notice here that in Texas, we're right on kind of the normal. So it's kind of a más o menos type of winter, maybe a so-so winter. We're going to have some cold, we'll have some hot. It'll average out to about normal.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Masa
That's Spanish.
Okay, you are, wow. Okay, so.
It means so-so. It's like,
So-so.
Eh.
Más o menos.
Más o menos.
Okay, we'll do some Korean later, because I
Okay,
know some
do you know
Korean.
some?
I'm sorry, I just didn't know. So a so-so.
Yeah.
So see, I was confused, being the weather illiterate that I am. I didn't know if that was like a front
No.
or something.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, like
a La Nina thing, a Más o menos.
Yeah,
No, okay,
no.
Más o menos.
But La Nina is Spanish.
Is
so
it
very,
yes, okay, again, right, go ahead.
So you're on top of it. You never let me down. I appreciate that, Deborah.
I'm
All right, let's go to the
sorry.
next map. We're going to
Okay,
show
I messed
the
up his
actual
maps.
snowfall
Okay.
average. So you'll notice, once again here, Más o menos, very average. But by Chicago, upper Midwest, 125% of snow. For Chicago, that means roughly 50 inches of snow, what they potentially could receive.
Sweet.
Yeah, so they could see a lot of snow, a
Excellent.
lot of cold. And now we're going to transition to the next map. And what I want to show here, this is going to be important. This is a stratospheric warming that is starting to occur in the upper atmosphere. You'll notice in the very top of the map, it says 10 millibars. So you're up above 7 miles in the atmosphere. For us here on the ground right now, the air pressure is about 925 millibars, but when you go about 7 miles up, it's 10 millibars. So you can tell that it's a lot less air pressure up there. So that what that map indicates with the red is that the air is expanding, which what it does, then it dislodges the cold air over the poles and then shifts it to make it go further south. That was one of the big culprits of why we had the winter apocalypse back in February. The upper air pattern was very favorable to actually bring that further south, and that's why we got so cold back in February. Now, what this does set up is this takes about 30 to 60 days to show up here at the service. So we're probably looking at a very cold December across the country. So from about Thanksgiving to Christmas or New Year's, very cold. Now, after that, though, it's kind of up in the air, and we'll probably, especially here in Texas, we'll probably be either average or above normal as we go through January and February. But right now, December could be very cold. So I just want to throw that out there. Also because, unfortunately, across the globe right now, we do have an energy crisis. If we have severe cold across the country or anywhere else, we could have some issues with heating and cooling, so we want to make sure everybody's aware of that.
Okay.
Final map we'll show here. This just goes back to 2000. I just wanted to show this. This is what December could look like. So the blue indicates far below normal temperatures there, okay? So that's what we could be looking at in December. I wanted to get that out there. It's an ever-changing forecast because there's a lot of different things that are coming into play that could impact the winter this year. So I want everybody to be mindful of that, be prepared that we could have a very interesting December. So with that, we'll roll that up.
Excellent.
And we're not going to do the...
Yes. You see our little sticky notes? Sorry, we're going behind the veil here.
Yes, okay. So we're going to go straight to the interview is what we're going to do here.
We have notes, so you get too nice. We got a note that says skip, undo, go to interview, but it actually says skip video.
It was a V.
Because I know my husband's handwriting after 25 years. Yes, skip, undo.
I thought it was a U. That's why I had a pause there for a second. But we're there. Okay.
It's okay. You have a
so
translator.
With 10:05, let's start talking about you.
And we need to end at 10:13, evidently. So,
yes.
Oh, really? This is so uncomfortable. Okay, so yes, this is again backup plan. I'm backup.
No, but you're such an interesting interview. So this is really good. So let's start with this though.
Wow. Okay.
Let's get to know you.
Okay.
So I mean, we have so many things that we could ask, but let's just start here. Like,
many things.
How did you and Pastor Tom meet? Where was
gosh.
it at?
Okay.
Oh, we had a reaction from the audience on that one.
I think that we were highlighting education and speech language pathology, but that's okay. I'll start at the very beginning because
Let's go back where it all began.
Me and stories,
Yes.
Reggie. So yes, no, actually we met in college.
Okay.
Yes, I grew up in Washington, D.C. vicinity area. I was right on, technically, address was Silver Spring, Maryland, but anybody familiar with Silver Spring in the area knows 410 East-West Highway and 16th Street.
You said you weren't good with numbers. This is impressive.
It's not numbers, it's just streets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I lived there like 18 years, so I see it enough, I remember.
Okay.
We were talking earlier about how I'm visual and I'm not good with just like, numbers just out of context. But anyway, so I grew up right, outside of Washington, D.C. So I ended up going to college at Columbia Union College.
Okay.
Tom grew up outside of Pittsburgh in a little town called Johnstown. Yes, the flood. That's if anybody is familiar with Johnstown, they know Johnstown because of the Johnstown flood.
That's right.
So, and it's funny, really soon if anybody has ever heard, because they're like, oh, the flood, or they're like, where? So I always tell Tom, just say outside of Pittsburgh, because that's general enough that they'll, Yep. So he came down to CUC for school, and that's where we met.
And that's where you met. Now,
yeah.
In the courtship, I got to ask, this is the last question here
The
on
courtship.
Yes.
Okay, this is funny. I don't know if you would
did
call
you
it
have
court.
Well, I'm going to tell you, any courtship that's really entertaining to watch or worthwhile.
Oh, it's very entertaining.
The woman really doesn't want any part of the man.
Yes.
My courtship with Tanya, I had to work with. I couldn't even be seen in public with her for many months.
Oh, Tanya.
Yeah, we had to work very
Herman.
hard. It was a serious courtship. So enough about me. Let's back to your courtship.
Because, I have a question. So she didn't want to be seen with you because she was afraid that people would assume you were together when you really weren't together yet. Was it one of those things?
There's a lot to unpack there.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe that's
this is not about me. I can't get into the details.
Oh, I'm
this
sorry.
Is about you.
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't know if all the ladies were wanting some Reggie
that was
love,
not
and then
anything.
it was Tanya just didn't want to have to fend them off.
No, Tanya just didn't want any part of me, is what it was. Okay, so anyway, back to you, your courtship.
But she came around, yeah. It was
okay,
pretty much just the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom and I was he was just very overeager, and I was not. And so, yeah.
So he had to work very hard to wear you down, is basically what happened.
So here's the funny thing, and here's something, advice hour, okay? From somebody who's been married for a very long time, guys, if there's a girl that you want to impress, don't try to impress her. Just be yourself.
That's a very good piece of advice.
Honestly, at the end, it sounds super corny, and I know like any teenager or 20-something that's watching this is like, oh my gosh. But like, just don't. Because that's actually when I really got to know Tom, is when I was just like, just stop. Like, no. Like, I mean, he likes to bring up all the time that I think, was it in writing once? I said, like, basically, like, you just need to stop because this is never happening, kind of a thing. I mean, I had I tried the nice approach. I tried the subtle approach. I tried all different kinds of approaches. I was okay being seen with him in public, so
okay, that's good.
I don't know what that's all about. But at the end of the day, it worked out for you, Reggie.
So, good. Yeah, it all came together.
But yeah, that's a piece of advice I would give, is just because that's when actually I became more interested in Tom, when it was just like Tom,
You saw the inner beauty at that point.
I saw the inner beauty. I'm sorry. And one thing Tom knows about me is I'm not a very sappy romance person. Like, okay, so here's me at Valentine's Day. I was super excited because I didn't want like flowers or candy or roses or typical Valentine's things,
right.
And so I'm usually like, no, just don't give me anything. Like, you're my Valentine every day. We just kind of laugh like, oh. So I have a bad habit of loving Cane's chicken. So this was like super sweet. This is what I call romantic. He went online for free, because it's another thing. I'm like, don't spend money on me. I'm like, no, okay. And downloaded and printed. Sorry, Tom, if this is TMI, but it was like a win. Downloaded and printed a little Cane's Valentine's card that said like, what was it, Tom? Like, we're a good pair or something. I don't know. And then Cane's is a dog because he knows I love dogs, So like, for me, that's like romantic. It's super stupid and silly, but yeah.
Wow.
So I'm not your typical romantic.
No, you're not.
I'm basically like a guy brain. Like, yeah, it's kind of freaky. I'm kind of a guy brain. Like, don't shop for me. I don't need stuff. If I do shop, like, I know what I want and I want to leave. Like, now that I have teenagers and they want to go to the mall, I'm like, oh my gosh, really? Are you sure? Are you really sure? You don't want to just get that online. So yeah, I'm a man woman, which sounds bad, but yeah, I don't know.
Man, you were giving me so much that we could just go for an hour, but I'm going to have to pull out of that topic and let's get to the other topic.
I was going to say, what time is it?
Yeah, we got like 3 more minutes.
Oh my gosh, 3 minutes. Speech language pathology.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So let's talk about, when did you actually transition from nurse to actually speech pathologist? Let's talk about that.
So I was a nurse for 20 years. Mm-hmm. So back again in college, we kind of go back and tidy all that up and bring it all together in college, where I met Tom.
There you go.
Because you had a diversion into speech language pathology. So I had always kind of been interested in therapy. I had speech therapy as a child. And then, back, I was born in, 74. And so therapy really it started getting popular with physical therapy.
Right.
But back in early, 90s, when we were in college, and it was physical therapy, and that was it. So was always interested in speech therapy or occupational therapy. Didn't actually meet, I joke with Michelle Wells, Kevin's wife, because when Tom went to seminary and I met her, that's like one of the ways we connected, is that I was like, oh my gosh, you're like the first real like speech language pathologist I've met since the one I had when I was in elementary school. And believe it or not, I was a kid that had so many speech problems, and that's a whole other thing with speech and language. There are lots of different areas we work with, but most people think when they think of speech language pathology, they think of articulation. Mm-hmm. So I was a kid that had some other speech problems too, but articulation was one of my big problems, where like I wouldn't even talk because some of the sounds came out so wrong and kids would laugh at me. And so believe that, like a non-talking me. Like people like, I just stop, because it's like, how could that even be, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure people's jaw have hit the floor now.
Oh my gosh,
cannot imagine
total
that
shock,
ever
total shock.
to
So
you.
we have 30 seconds for me to tell you how I went to grad school. So basically, Tom finished, got his doctorate. We came here to Texas, and I was about to turn 40, okay? And so the kids were in school. I had been working as a nurse, special education nurse in Grand Prairie ISD, and heard about this program through Texas Women's University that was all online. They had a program where you could work and do online classes, get your degree in speech language pathology after you did some leveling classes. So anyway, I joked that it was my midlife crisis. Some people have affairs. I went to grad school. So some people get, expensive cars. And so that was my thing. So I said, I feel like I'm the point of my life. I have to try, because if I don't try, I'll regret it. It's something I always want to do. And just, family and other things came before that, and his job and decisions and, that affected us as a family came before that. And so now it's like, I have to at least try. And if I don't get in, I don't get in. But well, lo and behold, like everything worked out. And so here I am, 5th year in Midlothian ISD as a speech language pathologist. So that's how I was initially interested in speech language pathology, is because I had it as a kid and I saw the difference it made with me, because like, my gosh, the world probably wishes I never had speech language pathology.
I'm glad you did. So unfortunately, we have to end that right there. And I'm so sad by it, because we had so much. We'll have to talk about getting a part 2 set up at some point.
We might have to do that.
So we just asked that you come back for a second segment that's going to start at 11:15. We're going to have some prayer requests that we're going to bring forward. Obviously, if you have some, I think you can actually put those forward on Facebook right now. We can pray for those here, second segment.
Yes.
Get ready to enjoy YG. We have the I Am Second mini-series going on right now. And actually, I think it's the vice president of
one of our seniors
from Burton will be doing the sermon. So please stay tuned for that. We'll see you at 11:15 when you come back.
Thank you.